Yeah. So what? It's your boy, Bits and Bobs. Yes, people, Thursday night, you know what it is. Kopping Mechanism. I am joined by the freshly cut, freshly trimmed man like Ryan from Sarcasm City. Ryan, how you doing? You alright?
I'm all good, bro. All good. How are you, bro?
Bro, listen, I'm good, man. Like, obviously my United are in another semi-final, so what to do with that, I don't know yet. But yeah. And Steve, we got Steve here from Red Sky Pod. Steve, how you doing, my friend?
I'm all good, mate. I'm recovered from yesterday's disappointment, mate. So yeah, good to go. Good to go.
Do you know what? Let's just go right into it. I mean, you said your where's my microphone? You said disappointment. Did you think did you think Liverpool could have done it? You know, if they'd scored those chances.
I think if Salah takes that chance really early on, we can square to him, and he's only got to go either side to force and he's got a goal. I think if that goal goes in, the lift side gets some an early goal, certainly makes it interesting. I thought the longer the game went on, Liverpool were totally gassed at the end, mate. They were out on their legs. They did a lot of work to try and engineer spaces last night. And I thought tactically Real Madrid got it right. There was a professional performance by Real Madrid, in terms of a European away fixture. We created the chances to get through, so we've only got ourselves to blame. People are saying we lost it in the first leg.
Yeah.
Enough damage was done to make it a problem in the first leg, but we created enough last night to have that in our own hands, mate. We just didn't take the chances.
Steve, do you know what? Yeah, like the first leg was an incredible game of football. For the neutral. Okay. Liverpool, I can imagine you were pulling your hair out and be thinking, what the hell's going on and stuff. Real Madrid were just. Do you know what? Let's not get giddy. They were just better on
Yeah, they
that
were.
night in the first leg. The first leg they were just better, right? So there comes the second leg now. Literally, at the back of my head, and I thought, they score in the first 15, 20 minutes, game on. Literally. And Ryan, I mean, I don't know what's your thoughts of it, because it's weird that you guys are not in the Champions League. And I think it's weird also the manner that you guys have been eliminated as well.
I mean, we lost. To me, we lost it in the first leg. Too much damage was done in the first leg, and to do it last night, we did need to score early. And it is frustrating that we did have the chances to score. Salah missed, Wijnaldum missed. We had a couple of maybe other half chances in the first half, a couple in the second, but I think, like Steve said, as the game went on, it just looked less and less likely. Real Madrid, we just kind of didn't look like scoring really in the last maybe 20 minutes. So, like I said, the damage, Real Madrid fully deserved over the two legs to go through 100%. They absolutely dominated us. We were probably lucky it wasn't more in the first leg, and we only went into the game 3-1 down last night. So,
Yeah.
We weren't good enough to go through over the two legs, but it is still frustrating if that chance goes in early on for Salah. Like Steve said, it could have been a different game. So it's just one of those things, to be fair.
Let's touch on it. That chance for Salah. All jokes aside, okay.
Yeah.
He's got to score that.
Yeah, 100%.
He's got like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not even the case of like, oh, he's unlucky. You've got to put that away. And I dare say that this might just be the night that it doesn't come off for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've seen Salah have the ricochet goal, the fluke, the top corner, bottom corner, the bend, the one that he always bends it round. We've seen him smash it, and I just thought, how did he not score that? Like,
yeah, I thought that too. He's not a natural goal scorer. So the things you say there, he's not. When you look through his football history, he wouldn't be considered a natural goal scorer. If you put, let's be extreme, if you put Kylian Mbappe in the same position that Salah finds himself in, you're getting messy numbers in terms of goals. You're getting 60, 70 goals a season, because what Liverpool do for Salah is create him an awful lot of chances. He doesn't take enough of them.
Yeah.
When I used to play, I'd have scored that last night, not a problem. Because I don't understand. First of all, I don't understand his body shape. Whether he's trying to disguise the shot, I don't know, because Courtois is a big fellow when he positions
Exactly.
himself
So
like that.
Yeah.
you need to put something behind it, right? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I don't understand the contact he made with the ball, and from where the ball ended up, I
Mhm.
don't genuinely know what he was trying to do. And we talked about early on in the season, we spoke about this on a previous pod. He's clean through against Newcastle. The
Mhm.
goalkeeper comes out, he doesn't even hit the target. Yes, he scores lots of goals, and that's a numbers game because of the chances that are created for him. And he scores well from time to time too. We know this. He's got a sweet left foot, but he's not a natural goal scorer. He's not in the mould of Ian Rice and Alan Shearer
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
those types of guys. He is capable of the ridiculous in terms of the misses and capable of the sublime in terms of the top corner curlers like the one against Chelsea a few years ago. That's what we're faced with realistically.
I'm just going to read this comment out. D'Angelo Williams, big up to you, man. Everyone that's watching, please smash a like. Big up to the panel. It's the quality we have in the Madrid midfield. That's where we want it. Three players who controlled the game. The continue press doesn't work for 90 minutes. Do you know what? Just to touch on that, they're calling it the heavy metal, the heavy press and stuff. In fact, we'll go to that, but let's come back to the Salah thing. Ryan, like you heard what Steve said there, like he's not a natural goal scorer.
Yeah.
So it can happen. It does happen. It can happen to him. It's happened, and unfortunately, it happened probably in the worst night for Liverpool. But to be fair to him, he stuck at it. He never put his head down.
Yeah, he
He
never
tried
hides.
to.
I'll give him that. He never hides. He does keep plugging away. In fairness to him, and I'm not his biggest fan like Mo Salah's, but I can't fault his mentality and his like killer instinct and the way he keeps plugging away. I can't fault his attitude in the game. In fairness to him, but I've always said I'm not a fan of his actual ability and what he does in game in terms of giving away passes, miscontrolling the ball, causing attacks to break down. And like Steve said, he's probably the most clinical out of him, Manny and Firmino, but it's not saying much because none of them are really clinical, to be honest. I would say that if there was one, if I wanted that chance to fall to one player yesterday, with the players on the pitch who were on the pitch at the time, I would have said Salah because he is the one who's most likely to take it. But again, am I convinced like I used to be convinced of if Fernando Torres got that chance that it was already in the back of the net? No, Salah's never been that clinical. Even in his first season at Liverpool, he would still miss chances, Mo Salah. So the system does create a lot of chances for him, and that's why he scores a lot of goals. But yeah, like Steve said, if you put someone like a Kylian Mbappe or someone who's more clinical in that system, creating that many chances for them, they'd score even more ridiculous number of goals. So that's one
Because
of the reasons.
he could have had sixes and sevens yesterday. I know it's a bit exaggerating, but he could have had a hat trick easily,
Yeah.
and that's not that's not
absolutely.
emphasized.
But the thing is, go back to go back to the point we made about putting a different player in the system. If you put Kylian Mbappe in Mo Salah's position, the system doesn't work. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. It's a very difficult situation. If we invest in a more typical forward, and I don't think Mbappe is a realistic target, to be honest with you, despite all the talk. Preston Daku is probably somebody that the club would be more likely to look at, the guy from Red Bull. That's an off-the-shoulder number 9. That's not a wide man that wants to play as an inside forward. That's more of a stereotypical number 9. If we had one of those players playing for us last night, I think we're in the semi-final today. I think whilst we've enjoyed what the front three have brought to us, Mane's forms fell off a cliff because he's isolated out there on the left wing and it's not working for him and he's gassed. Thankfully, it's a Euros this summer, so he doesn't have to play any international tournament. Yeah, so he can have a good rest. Mo Salah's talking to Spanish media again and English media via his lawyer. He's agitating for a move, mate. If he doesn't want to be at the club, I'm sure we'll touch on this. If he doesn't want to be at the club and he goes, and we buy number 9, we have to have a rethink, but that won't do us any harm because I think we're not fresh up front. We're not fresh, and you need to be fresh. You need to do different things, and we're not fresh. We're predictable.
Do you know? That's a good segue, right? You started yesterday. You started, I believe it was Milner,
It was Milner, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho in midfield.
Fabinho, yeah. And like, I'm thinking, you've just said the word fresh there, and I think that just comes to mind. Like, is that the midfield three that we're really going to go and dominate and boss you the game against Casemiro, Cruz, and I think it was a tough ask, and I think we're asking a lot. But you know, I want to indulge into the Salah thing. Yeah, is he going to leave, and should he leave?
Do you mean by should he leave? Do I want him to leave, or should
No.
he
Okay. Let's. Obviously, I want you to give your opinion, right? But like, for Liverpool to move forward, okay, it's obvious Liverpool need to rebuild. Like Steve just said, it's not fresh. Do you know what I mean? We need to freshen up things. You guys need. I personally think you guys need to rebuild because I'm looking at your team and thinking you need to sell someone to build funds, to raise funds, and go again. And I think Salah's your man. He has to leave. Steve just touched saying that he's twerking to Spanish media and stuff like that. You know, I think his time's up now. That's my opinion. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, I hope it is because you know I've wanted him gone for a while. So, and he's definitely the one I think who we could also get a lot of money for as well. You know, obviously you could probably still get money for someone like a Van Dijk, but obviously I don't want Van Dijk to go. I'd rather keep him over a Salah. Whereas I think Salah, if we got the good money for him, we could replace it in not only replace him but and I think we can replace him and manage without him, to be honest, if we get it right. And you know, like I said, you know, would he be the one I want to go out of all of them? Yes, because I'm not a particularly big fan of him in game anyway. So, and I think, do I see him leaving the way he's twerking for it? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he left in the summer. I'll be honest. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think he's your best asset.
In terms of getting the most money.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
But I think you can do without him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with Mo Salah, you're not only buying the actual player, you're buying it. You know, you're buying the brand as well. Mo Salah is a very big brand. You know, if let's say Real Madrid get him, you know, every Egyptian football fan becomes a Real Madrid fan, goes and buys Real Madrid shirts and watches Real Madrid on the TV every time. You know, they're not only buying Mo Salah, they're buying the whole of Egypt with him. So he comes with a big brand as well, and I think that's why he's the one we get a lot of money for as well.
Steve, I just want you to come to D'Angelo's comments here. Thanks for the comments, D'Angelo. Don't think it's the strikers Liverpool need. They need some creators who can get people involved, get their shirt off. Sucks because only players of that caliber is Neymar, Hazard, and Sancho. Dupe, MCFC, big up to you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Steve, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't think Sancho's an option. Sancho's had an indifferent season so far to the extent where there are some question marks in certain corners of the media whether he'll actually make the Euro Championship squad because he's not doing what he was doing 18 months ago. But then who is, given the truncated season and the fact that, you know, the pre-season was the shortest pre-season in history. I've said this many times, because we don't have our first choice centre-backs, and a lot of our play is built from Van Dijk because of his distribution. He's not just a central defender, he's one of the most accomplished ball-playing players, and he's so comfortable on the ball. Yeah. He often starts a transition. So where he launches the right long ball into the path, into the channel where Salah's playing or Mane's playing, transition's very quick. Teams don't have a chance to catch up. They move the ball quickly in the front lane. Before you know it, you've scored. What we're doing at the moment is we're living in fear of Kabak and Phillips. And you know, as well as they've done, that central defensive partnership has no place in the Champions League quarter-final for me in terms of experience, in terms of positioning, in terms of awareness. Nat Phillips probably couldn't believe his luck at what's happened to him this year. He'd be pinching himself every day going, wow, I'm playing in Liverpool's first team against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Yeah. A year ago, he was playing for Stuttgart in the second tier of the Bundesliga. That's the difference between the 2 years, the 2 seasons. So in terms of what we're doing at the moment is We haven't got a high back line because we don't have recovery speed. So we're playing deep, which then means our central midfielders are sitting deeper than we'd like them to. They should be 20 yards inside the opponent's half, but they're not. They're 20 yards inside ours. And then the distance between the midfield and the front men who want to isolate defenders is 30, 40 yards. And it becomes very, very difficult to find a way to give them balls that they can use to hurt people. We're giving them the balls at the wrong time. So give the ball to Thiago, he looks up, gives the ball to Salah, and Salah's out wide, and he's got a central right back stood right in front of him. And all he does is chop it back to Arnold, and we try again. So I get that point. Do we need creators? Yes, possibly we do. I still don't fully understand the signing of Thiago, if I'm honest, because he's not a number 10.
No,
he was
he's not.
He was a 6 for Bayern Munich in a league that they bullied and dominated everybody, and he could pretty much do what he wanted week in, week out. He's never played more than 25 games in a season, so he's not a player you can rely on week in, week out. He has fitness issues. I still think he's a tremendous footballer. I still have all the respect in the world for him. Just can't see how he fits into our system. So we need to push the team 20, 30 yards further forward. That changes our dynamic completely. So whilst I get we could do with a number 10, it's not the end of the world if we don't have one, because we'll have the fullbacks do what the fullbacks do, which we've been so successful for 2 to 3 years now.
Yeah, I mean, we've won a Premier League and Champions League, without a number 10, with a, non-creative midfield. So it can be done. And like Steve said, yeah, this team does need rebuilding. It might need evolving as well. But, we have shown that you can win the biggest trophies without a number 10, as long as your creativity comes from elsewhere. And, with the injuries we've had to the likes of Van Dijk, Henderson even, it's like Steve said, it's affected the whole system as a whole, that it can't function as efficiently as it has done over the last few years. So, when we do get those players back, hopefully, I think there will be a change. But at the same time, I still think that this team does need evolving in certain areas of the pitch as well.
But Steve, you say something interesting to me, right? 20 yards further up the pitch. That's very key, because I said something about Wan-Bissaka. I said, people say, oh, Wan-Bissaka is this, Wan-Bissaka is that. And I always say, look, Wan-Bissaka played one full season in the Premier League with Crystal Palace, and he played in the low block, and he was 20 yards behind, in the sense that, he was 20 yards deeper, sorry. Yeah. At Man United, he's expected to play 20 yards forward. That's to be starting position. Now, when you say that, we need to get 20 yards up, doesn't that mean that you need people to carry the ball? So in your midfield, I'm just asking the question here. So do you need a ball carrier in midfield?
So what we've got currently are two specialist ball recyclers. So listen, if you took Jordan Henderson and Gini Wijnaldum to Real Madrid tomorrow, they'd look pretty bang average. Yeah. Because in terms of footballers, they're not spectacular. We've got the most rigid and inflexible system that you've ever seen in world football, but also one of the most efficient. But it's also one of the most efficient systems in world football. 100%. But if one thing goes wrong, it comes down like a pack of cards. That's how fragile it is. So when you talk about ball carriers, the job in the team at the moment is for Fabinho to protect the back four from when the fullbacks bomb on.
Yeah.
When they lose the ball, being risk takers and taking chances wide as fullbacks, Henderson and Wijnaldum drop into their positions, filling the spaces behind them, and that is why Trent's getting ruined by the media, because Henderson's not doing the dirty work. So making Trent look worse than he is. We don't ask Trent to be a defender. We ask him to be creative. We don't ask Robbo to be a defender. We ask him to be creative. So there's your ball carriers with. The problem we've got at the moment is because of the way the team feels, the confidence in the team is really low. When you're 12 points away from the Premier League, and as a Man United fan, you're serial winners, you'd know this. Tiredness and fatigue are overtaken by euphoria and the will to win and the will to get to the point where you raise the Premier League trophy. When you're winning, you forget how tired you are. When you're winning, you forget about that little niggle that's doing your head in. You actually go out there and you perform and you play. We kind of
100%.
climbed our Everest, got to the top, raised our trophy, stuck our flag in the ground, and then thought, what now? And we
Yeah,
never got going again. And on top of that, we suffered the most horrendous injuries that I've ever seen in all the time I've watched football. It's not an excuse; it's a factor.
it's a
But we
fact.
didn't
Yeah.
The factor.
we didn't learn lessons. We should have seen what happened to City the year before, because City had a season like we're having, and we should have learned lessons from that, and we didn't. And I think the club has to look at that at the end of the season. If we don't get Champions League, as a collective unit, as a business model, as a football club, we have failed because we didn't legislate for things that we couldn't control.
And it's a damning thing what you say there about you saying you failed, right? And I'm looking at the league table now. Okay, you're sixth in the league. You got 7 games to go. You are okay. So West Ham have 55 points. So you're 3 points off top 4. Okay, 4 points off third, and you are 11 points off second, right? So all in all, there is a fight here, isn't there? You know what I mean?
Oh
You there could be some redemption at the end of the season here because I mean we've seen it. Leicester drop the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, West Ham every season in the Premier League. There's always a football team that overachieve. I think it's them right now. Will they get too giddy? I don't know. I don't know their fixtures. I think Chelsea's fixtures are very, very. Besides Man, they've got
No, I
Man
think
City.
Chelsea's last few games are quite tough, actually.
Are they quite tough?
I
Okay.
think their last few games they've got like Leicester, Villa, City. I think they've got West
I'd
Ham.
expect them to beat Leicester and Villa though. If I'm
But
honest.
Leicester and West Ham are still two of the teams that are in the fight as well with them.
Yeah.
for
Okay.
top
I see what
four.
you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're saying. So I mean, what's Liverpool? I mean,
And I think they've still got Man City.
and then so there you go. Like and look, we've got Spurs. Well, are 2 points off you guys as well. So like, what's going to happen with Liverpool now, guys? Like, obviously the push is for top 4. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say you don't make top 4
Mm-hmm.
because you know what happened if you make top 4. Your push will go on Champions League football at Anfield again. You'll obviously attract players regardless, whatever. But let's just say, okay, theoretically speaking, Liverpool don't get top 4. I wouldn't say it's a crisis because I think it's not the end of the world. Okay, I still think you'll be able to attract good players, but as a project and the rebuild, the Europa League is probably somewhere you guys don't want to be, right?
Correct.
Yeah, 100%.
I think if you look at Liverpool's project, the club in terms of the entire project is worth as much as it's ever going to be worth. If we don't make Champions League, there's £200 million off the net value of the club anyway, because that's the revenue that it brings in. So it goes from 2.6 billion to 2.4 billion or whatever it's worth. It is around those figures that it's valued at. That's massive. That if there's a time when the owners look at it and think, is this a time when we think about cashing in our chips and walking away with 700% profit? This is a business transaction to them. This isn't a football transaction. This is a business deal. That's Liverpool fans' concern that they're not in it for trophies and they're not in it for the love of the club. They're in it for the dollar, and that's okay in their regard because in getting the club to where it is now in terms of its value, we've benefited from having the ground we've generated, from having our training ground we've generated, from bringing in some quality players, from doing some really strong commercial deals. This club is as healthy and financially as it's ever been or ever will be right now. But in terms of if we don't make the top 4, I think the rest of the football in Wales has got enough savvy about them to say, wow, we were 5 games into a partnership with Kabak and Phillips, and the commentators just said on the telly, that's the longest period any 2 centre-backs have played for Liverpool together in the whole season. So I think the rest of the football in Wales will look at this and say, that was mental. What the hell went on that season? Right, okay. Just get a big marker pen, draw a ring around it, do away with it, forget about it. We haven't turned into a bad side overnight.
Of course, of course.
We've turned into an off-the-cuff football team that doesn't play with the system because we don't have the personnel to make that system work. So we're not good at off-the-cuff football. We're a very rigid system-based side. So in that regard, the players that we're looking at, the players that we've been speaking to, and the players that might want to come to the club will come to the club because A, Jurgen Klopp's there and he's a massive pull for players.
100%.
And B, football clubs of that quality don't fall off a cliff completely and stay that way. There will be a bounce back next season because we'll have players fit and we'll be able to play round pegs and round holes, which has absolutely not been the case.
Right. I mean, do you have anything to add to that? I mean, do you elaborate or do you not agree?
I think in terms of players, if we wanted to, obviously, if we don't get Champions League football, then there is less money to spend in the summer. But I think in terms of attracting players, Liverpool will still be able to attract players because I don't think players forget after one season what Liverpool have done under Jurgen Klopp for the 2 previous seasons before that and how successful we were and the trophies we won. But I think we will bounce back next season in terms of the performance levels will be a lot higher regardless of whether we get Europa League or Champions League football for next season. I do think there will be a bounce back, but whether it's enough of a bounce back to make us title contenders, I'm not sure because, like I said, I do feel that this team has reached the end of its cycle in terms of challenging for a Premier League title. And that's why I do think we will see a bounce back, but not the bounce back that I want to see in terms of going all the way to challenging and maybe winning the title again. I still think there are positions in the team that still need to be changed in order for that to happen next season.
But do you not think though, like with the way you guys play football, okay, you guys, let's have it right. You guys had probably one of the best 2 years, Champions League, World Club,
Cup, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Couldn't get out of there. Okay, like you guys had a lot of success in a very short space of time, right?
Mm.
And obviously, we've had the jokes, we've seen the trolls, blah blah. But like, from a football perspective, is this not now where Jurgen has to, let me not say earn his stripes, but earn his corn in his wages here when it's like, when Fergie, for example, guys, Fergie would say, we accept the challenge and we go again. If we win something, we have to look to defend it.
Yeah.
Fergie was very, very despicable because he was always building a team, If we didn't win it one season, we didn't win the next season. That third season, we'd look to compete and so on and so on. And do you guys think that... I think what I'm trying to ask you is that do you think Jurgen's got that in him to rebuild?
100%.
And if so, is the board going to allow this?
That's the $1 million question. So it's the biggest transfer window by one before the summer.
So that's why Champions League is very important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is because ultimately United will spend, Chelsea will spend, City will invest, even though Guardiola was saying they won't. He's just being coy.
Yeah, he lies. I mean, they're always going to buy.
Yeah. The usual suspects will go and spend money. If we don't spend money and we don't invest, there is a risk that we become a side that competes for top 4 only, rather than trying to win the title.
Yeah.
You have to look at the Premier League for the last two or 3 years. If Liverpool hadn't peaked when they did, City would have been winning 5 Premier League titles in a row, or whatever it is. And then it'd have been a bit like a farmers' league. So they need teams like United, they need teams like Chelsea, they need teams like Liverpool to go and spend money to make the league competitive. Because if it becomes a one-horse race every season, it'll also become boring, doesn't it?
100%. Look, Steve, I live in Scotland, so yeah, trust me.
There you go. But big up Steven Gerrard, eh? He's made a change.
Yeah, the only time you would probably hear me scream his name.
Yeah, well, there you go, eh? Yeah. I can't imagine you doing that normally. But I think if this is what's going to happen in my view, if FSG don't back the manager, the fans playing on the board, because we've had American owners before that took the club for a ride, and we were Mickey Take, and
Yeah.
we had a group of supporters called Spirit of Shankly who organised marches around the ground singing songs like "We Want Our Club Back" and stuff like that. We've waited so long to get to the pinnacle of English football for our owners not to recognise that and speculate to accumulate and look to be a force for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years or longer and compete with Manchester City year in and year out. We don't want to be a flash in the pan. I remember when Liverpool, like United, used to win everything every year, and it was like a procession. It was like, what score did Liverpool win today? Just as it was when Manchester United was successful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Football's changed. I get that. I understand that. And you're never going to see a team win 8 titles in 10 years like both Liverpool and United were capable of doing. But what we don't want to see is reach that point where we lifted the Champions League, where we lifted the Premier League, and then suddenly the owners go, okay, well, do you know what? We've got the club to £2.5 billion worth of value. We're not going to spend your working capital. We're not going to spend your money on your players, because when we're ready to sell the club, by not spending the money on the players, we maximise our revenue. They are in this for the return on their investment. That's really dangerous. And that is a concern for Liverpool fans.
So you know, I think, Steve, I love talking football with you 100%. Like, I love your delivery and how you explain things. And I think, what that worry is the same kind of worry I have at my club as well. You know, gone are the days where you just dominated. do you know? Gone are the days where you didn't have to worry. You know, Liverpool were like that. We'll take your player. We'll take your best player. Man United done the same. And football's becoming a business now, isn't it? And it's like,
absolutely.
And like, you don't want to become a flash in the pan. However, the media and certain groups of the fan base will always see it like that, won't they? Because they've, like, some young fans, Ryan, I'll put you in this. You've just seen Liverpool just probably, let's not say unheard of, okay? Because they did give City a run, but like in the 2 years, big up to Saint, man.
My guys.
Oh, bro. How's Muntz? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's not too bad, bro. We'll
Big
get
up
onto that,
to you, man. Big up to you. But what I was sorry, just to let you know, guys, this is Saint, LFC Saint, one of the gang. We'll do households at the end, but your descriptions of YouTube channels should be in the link. If not, I'll add in. Don't worry. Saint, we're just talking about Liverpool not being a flash in the pan. How that, you know, Champions League is very, very key to you guys. The next project, rebuilding, see if Klopp can do it. And Steve was just touching on that. Like, you don't want to be a flash in the pan, and it's very, very key. Obviously, this transfer window is massive, massive. So, see, you're in now. So, just get your thoughts on it. You're not in the Champions League. You're out. Okay. There's no embarrassment getting beat to Real Madrid. Let's be honest here. The first leg, it was won. You fluff your chances in the second leg. It just wasn't never to be. And I think that kind of, it doesn't eclipse your whole season because you're still in a fight for top 4. So what's in your thoughts, in your opinion? What? I'll start again. Where do you go right now? Obviously top 4, but is there honestly, a rebuild job on it?
I think you're right. I think you kind of obviously skate over some of those points. I feel like, mate, Champions League this season was everything for us. Do you know what I mean? Considering how bad the season had gone, and considering what, like you said, what we need in order to rebuild. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're right. There is a kind of a mini rebuild needed. We need to there is an injection of kind of freshness that needs to come into this team. All of that would have been helped by us pushing on. And do you know what it is? You're right. There is no kind of embarrassment losing to a Real Madrid, but us Liverpool fans know that they were there to be beaten. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we didn't we didn't come out of there like thinking, blimey, do you know what I mean? They really flipping.
they weren't
like, and
amazing,
just like,
right?
and
They weren't
the
amazing.
performance of the first half of the second leg just made me feel like, guys, man, if we had just done something do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what's hurting, and it's just like, bro, man, it's I don't know, like, so yeah, that's what I'm getting my head around over. I'm just like, come on, like, and the manner. Ryan, I hear you, bro. Like,
Yeah. And do you know?
this isn't the time, yeah. But like, of any person in our team who needed a revenge, kind of for their own personal. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna do this against the team that Ramos or no Ramos, just for me, for us. Like, it was my guy. You know, the ones there, and it was criminal. Those misses. We're not just going to skate over them. It was criminal. And I do think that, you know, unfortunately, we are victims of what has been a trend over the season, which now needs to be. We need to address it in the summer. This Madrid, us not finishing our chances in this Madrid game isn't new. We sneaked a 2-1 win over Aston Villa, but that was that game 2.0. Do you know what I mean? Just like we've been doing this. Do you know we have been doing this. And you know, it's been said that there's a lot of running in the legs of our players, especially our forwards. Obviously Mane's form, Salah and Bobby. We need a really big summer. It's mad because
depends if you qualify for Champions League or not.
That's what I'm. This is why it's like, but why did we throw it away there? It's mad because, to be very honest with you, it's a tough one now. When you look at this, when you look at the table, in all honesty, yes, we could do this. I mean, like, our chances of doing it are quite high, I'd say. Yeah. However, I know Liverpool and I know what we're like, man. We look at my friend was telling me earlier on, like, bro, if you look at the rest of the table, like, they're all like low block teams, they're all like lower teams. I'm like, yeah, but they're the ones that low block us. They're the ones that we will go and have 85% possession. And you know what I mean? Like, it's been, so it's hard, man. It is difficult. I don't know where that big summer comes from, is what you're asking me. And I don't know how. I don't know, man.
So like, do you know what? Like, it's interesting because, like, I feel like if you don't win the league, you've got to win it the next season. But when you do win the league, you've got to win it again next season. I feel like it's a strange culture, isn't it? Like, winning is everything. You've got to embrace change and go again, and it's tough. And especially in this football these days, it's tough because for me, Ryan, don't mind that guy. He's my cousin, and he knows the time, so don't listen to him. But I see your message. But no, this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, the winning mentality, right? Like, and Steve, like, you said the flash in the pan, and it's stuck in my head now. If Liverpool, I've said if Liverpool qualify for Champions League, but you're bored, that's what we were talking about, the board. The onslaught is not really going to be foregone, is it? Because the players that you want, okay, I personally think other teams are going to start looking at the players you want. Do you guys remember the Mourinho, before Mourinho came, when Ranieri got Chelsea to second, and Arsene Wenger, they offered Arsene Wenger 100 million for Vieira and Henry. Does anyone remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And do you remember when every club went for the same player? Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, they did.
I was too young. Yeah. I was like 4 when that happened, so I don't even know, man. Like,
yeah, and Vinchi joining us. Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at, guys, is that, like, do you not think now that in the transfer market, people are going to start looking at Klopp, Pep, and saying, why are they going at this player? Why shouldn't we be going for him? And do you think
I don't know.
Competition?
I think the Liverpool point of view, it's about player profile. It's about where they run, when they run, how they recover from those runs, injuries. They're already reworking the data for Canate because they're not convinced by why he picks up muscular injuries. So there's a possibility that deal will fall flat.
But can you always do that, Steve? Steve, can you always do that? Because we're talking about we need to freshen it up.
But
You know-
what I said to you before was we have a very successful but a very rigid and a very inflexible system in place at the moment, which
Yeah.
brought us a lot of success. So the story is that it was the researchers that came to Klopp and said, "You need to be looking at Mo Salah at Roma." He wasn't even looking at him.
He wasn't on him.
Because of the types of runs he makes, and the recovery speed and his energy and his ground cover and all of the things that the sort of analyticals give you. He was factored into the equation to have a conversation about bringing him to Liverpool.
Yeah.
We are ridiculously scientific, and it's not always a good thing. But the likes of the lad Daku at Red Bull, he is someone Liverpool are looking at because he fits the player profile. That's dangerous because you're basically looking at a load of computer statistics to say this guy's potentially someone that we could have in your team. You're not buying on impulse. I think we bought Thiago on impulse, and I think that's the reason why we all scratch our head a bit about Thiago and say, as lovely a footballer as he is, and he really is, how does he fit into our system? It hasn't really worked so far.
Steve, can we just have a quick conversation about that, actually? Because
Yeah, cool.
it really, really pained me, right? Vinci, saying, I want to get your thoughts on it before I hear Ryan and Steve. Thiago, right? It really bothered me in the sense that I literally did thought, and honest to God, guys, I thought, okay, Klopp is going to literally just mock everything. You guys are going to be able to play the 100 mile per hour, and then you've got this guy who's going to be like, they called Zidane the orchestrator, the instructor, whatever, the conductor, sorry.
The conductor.
This guy, yeah, that's it. And now Thiago is just going to be like, we'll go at my pace, and he's obviously good enough to do that, So for me, it's like, why has it not worked?
Go ahead.
You want me to, I'll go quickly. I think in terms of why our quote unquote demise this season, I say it's a pie chart. Do you know what I mean? It's not down to just one thing. It's not down to just no fans or the injuries or do you know what I mean? Sometimes tactical ineptness in certain games and Klopp's, decision making, and it's all segments of one pie chart. The midfield in which we play now wouldn't be the midfield in which we would play. Our strongest midfield, for me personally, would be that of Fabinho, Henderson, and or Thiago, or a mixture of. We have only ever played that. We played that the second game. We played it once. One time we've been able to play that formation.
Was that the Chelsea game? I can't
remember. That was
the
Chelsea game.
When he came on, right?
Yeah. And do you know what I mean? Other than and like we haven't, bro. This guy's come into a team where it has been all over the place. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, it's not just due to one factor. It's been. We're not playing the like Fabinho in a 2-man pivot is his. Do you know what I mean? That's the role in which he played. He's used to that. You'll see a very different. Do you know what I mean? Thiago. He's got all the capabilities for it to work in our team. It just hasn't really slotted in as well as it should do because of, like I said, just it's a madness. You know what I mean? Look at the team that he's coming into. It's mad. He's been playing 6 certain times. He's having to play 8. He's playing on the right. He's having to play we play a very systematic form. If you're playing on the right, like where Henderson would play, he's covering Trent. He's allowing Trent to go up. It's just all. Do you know what I mean? A lot of things that people say. Yeah. People say, "Oh no, well Thiago's coming in. It doesn't work. Our team don't work like that." Do you know what I mean? Like it is when we have next season. Watch is basically what I want to say in it.
Yeah, and do you know what? When you say watch it, like I think Thiago, it's just unlucky, isn't it? It is unlucky. The injury, Steve touched on it. The injury.
He came in. He got assaulted. He came in. He got assaulted. Richarlison assaulted him. Then he got COVID. Do you know what I mean? And then it was just mad. And then he's coming into a team where it was just crazy. Do you see what I'm saying? So all of these things you have to take into account. You can't just brush them aside. But trust me, I'm happy to make a bet with anyone. Next season, let's see what one.
Okay, Sasha. Okay, Sasha.
Ryan, who's Sasha?
Oh.
Ryan, who's Sasha?
Oh, man, I don't know. She just comes. She's in the comments a lot on my videos of Saxon City. So big up.
Hold tight, the man
You
there.
guys
Hey.
touching around, bro.
Hey, she loves the cup, innit?
Hey.
Oh god, I should have come.
Vinci,
I should have got my hype up
what's your
tomorrow,
thoughts on
innit?
What's your
No.
thoughts on what Saint just said?
So you know when Rio interviewed Guardiola, and he talks about how, with his strategy, it's important for him to play boom, 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 but at the same time, he tries to instill in his players how to slow the game down, boom, 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 and then slow it down. So it's almost like a
Are we still
dance.
talking about football here?
No. Ryan's taking notes, like no. But essentially, I would disagree slightly with what Steve said. I don't think Thiago was a panic buy. Thiago was a luxury buy, essentially.
100%.
He was one of those that we've dominated last season. How can we improve this squad that dominated? It's like, okay, I want to be able to have the option of playing boom, 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 and then slow it down. So it was to expand Klopp's strategy. Like Saint said, the most unfortunately and unlucky thing is that Thiago and Klopp thought that they were going to get this system where he just comes in and he becomes Thiago and he plays the beautiful football, tic-tac movement type of thing. But he's come and there's an emergency setting where it's just like, yeah, exactly. We're just like, guess what? You're not going to dance around anymore. You have to cover this, you have to cover this and cover that and then run. So he's just like, wait, I left Bayern Munich where I had the luxury of chilling around Kimmich and all these people to come and start hustling like Milner in the midfield or like Henderson at my age at this point in the English Premier League. So it's unfortunate for Klopp. It's unfortunate for Thiago, but I think he comes out big from this because this experience is priceless. I saw in the comments someone was saying that he would have fit better in United. I think that's a joke. But in City, I agree. City would have offered him that, like what James Foden is having now, that freedom to just coast around, play the ball, angle himself, and play pinpoint passes without having too much defensive responsibility. So like Saint said, next season, I think Klopp, if he's going to take anything from this season, Klopp has to learn that he needs to have two players to cover Fabinho and Henderson. You got to cover that. That's the key in the transfer window. Not necessarily defense. Defense is important, yeah, but right now, guess what? They're talking about Konate, but honestly, I think Kabak is better than Konate, in my opinion, in terms of durability, not terms of quality. I'm talking about durability and learning curve.
I call him Cabbage, but I mean he's not bad.
He's not bad. He's got a brain on him. He's got a brain on him.
I've got a quick point. Just not now. Just note it before you go to Ste.
Okay. So for me, Klopp has to. Milner is on his last legs, even though he runs more than Ginny, which is funny. So he's on his last leg. Fabinho needs a replacement. Henderson needs a replacement. And to be honest, there's one more spot that Thiago is supposed to fill in, / Oxlade, / Curtis Jones, / whoever, Keita. That he has too many in that role right now. For me, he needs to get rid of some. Like Oxlade needs to go, or if it's Keita, that I think Keita needs to be given one more season. But that role we're luxury in that role. But the Fabinho Henderson role is key.
Very thin.
For success. The forward role, honestly, this might be controversial. I'm not too worried about at all.
Do you know what I find what's quite funny as a rival fan when I can't remember what game it was, but Henderson was shouting at Thiago and he was saying, Thiago, it's got to be quicker. I was laughing. I was just like,
bro, this is our captain, bro.
I
She
was
our
like,
captain.
welcome to the Premier League. You know,
And
like,
and Bob, just
look
to
at
touch on that.
look at
Yeah, go ahead.
look at the character of Henderson, because he
Yeah.
knows he can't clean his boots technically, but for him to be able to say, hey, yo, man up, G, do you know, I'm not gonna sit there and be in awe of you, and you know them ones
Yeah,
there, rude
yeah.
boy. Come on, man.
See,
Sorry,
what was
Vinchi.
the point you wanted to bring in? What was the point you wanted to?
Very, very quickly, this is what pisses me off. We are subject of our downfall sometimes. In terms of Vinci said he would suit a Man City, and do you know why he'd suit a Man City? Because of the flipping ball movement, the way they move the ball, and the way and do you know what I mean? They are able to play this type of ball without a flipping number 9. They don't need one because the way they move the flipping ball, the flipping, movement in front of the I can't even swear. The movement in front of the ball is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And like it's just bro, that's why you got man like Gini Wijnaldum having just touching up the ball, because he has so much time to do so, because there's no movement, there's no, and bro, you can't tell me that when there's bro, Thiago's a killer in them type of situations there. We know that. But when it's just there static, you know, the ones there just kick it to the wing. Wow, it's long, bro.
Yeah.
Say, do you know, real quick, say, do you know what Pep has Man City playing like? Do you remember when he was in Barcelona, and what Barcelona would do? They will pass you to death, right? You won't get the ball from them.
Chase
but
shadows.
in the twitch of a second, they're behind you. Like
Bobby,
boom,
you
boom,
coaching it?
or goal.
Yeah.
Bro,
He was the coach.
No, he coached, bro. You want the flipping, but why don't you just tell the man? Because I see this all the time in cities. What Pep does, don't, bro. One touch. You're allowed one touch to control the ball and keep the fucking ball moving. Because if you do that, you have to move.
Yeah, Nick,
you have to move.
They put you to sleep. They put you to sleep
my Lord.
with the way they pass the ball around, and they look like they're not threatening. And the next minute, bam.
But
Ryan,
we don't.
I just want you to comment.
And we have 80% possession. Sorry, Ryan.
I've always said for a long, long time that even though I prefer Klopp, in my personal opinion, Klopp edges Pep just because of, edges him just because of the resources he's had, and Pep had more resources and stuff like that. I'm always taking Pep's style of football over Klopp's. Like, not that Klopp's is bad or anything, but I love Klopp's style of football, but I just love Pep's style of football so much. I just love it.
Sorry, guys. I done an IG live yesterday, and I said this comment: raise your hand if your team's in a semi-final. Big up to Nathan. Sorry, Ryan. I hear what you're saying, right? Okay, and Vinci is saying, Steve, like, was it a baptism for Thiago this season, or was it just unfortunate?
So just to go back to the point Vinci made earlier on, just to clarify, I thought Thiago was a strange signing as opposed to a panic signing. And the reason why, and I'll sort of quantify that, if we hadn't had the injury problem across the season and everybody was fit, the midfield would have been Henderson, Fabinho and Wijnaldum pretty much every week. And he would have brought Thiago on to play teams that are playing the low block, to play teams that are making it difficult for us. Because if you go back and track Thiago's career, he's never played much more than 20 games a season because there's a fitness issue there. So the money we're paying for him, like £7 million a year for the next 4 years, it's a no-brainer to have a player of that quality in the club. But his first choice midfield would have been the tried and tested trio of Henderson on the right, Fabinho in the middle, and Wijnaldum on the left. And the reason why, and the only reason why, is because he's got two world-class ball recyclers that allow your fullbacks to do what they've been doing for years, which is hurting people and winning his games and winning his trophies. Now, Thiago is a special footballer. No, there's not anybody on the planet who should say otherwise. When we're playing at the moment, the way the team's set up at the moment, when teams break against us, they play a very quick transition to try and get into the space that's been vacated by Trent. Thiago cannot play on the stretch. He's not a player that needs to be running back to his own goal. It really doesn't work for him. So it's a strange season. You guys are exactly right. He's had a baptism of fire. If you sat him down at the end of the season and said, did you enjoy that? He'd say, some of it yes, most of it no, because that's not how I play football. But I don't see how he plays 38 games a season as your linchpin in midfield. And I don't see Liverpool playing a double pivot, because if you play a double pivot, one of your fullbacks is exposed if you take away the three guys we're using in the midfield at the moment. That's what my point about Thiago was. And I love the guy to bits. He's a genius. But I just don't see, unless we change our style, and you're not going to do that with the Euros because you don't have the players together for the summer to teach them how to play differently. Unless you change your style, Thiago remains a bit of a misnomer for Liverpool for me. It's still a strange signing.
So Shane, I see you nodding your head there. But it's a snip though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
This is what I was going to...
It's a snip, isn't it?
It's wow.
Did you get him for 5 million? Is that the...
Seven over 4 years. 7 every year for 4 years.
Yeah. Like, that's ridiculous. What's his name? Is it Martin Edwards? Is that his name? I beg your pardon.
Michael Edwards.
Michael, beg your pardon. There you go. Yeah, and that's insane. That deal anyway. But for a big club not to get Thiago, or for a big club to get Thiago, it's brilliant business, isn't it? You know, because like at the end of the day, like you said, he doesn't play more than 20, 25 games. Yeah, so obviously the block games. You can't play, like Vinchi says, bang, 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 slow it down, bang, 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 slow it down. So it made sense. So I'm not going to say he's flopped, because I think that would be quite juvenile to say he's flopped. I think there's context. Your strongest midfield would probably be Fabinho, Hendo, and him. You know?
Yeah.
And you need to remember, and then that allows Robertson and Trent to go on. So, but as a rival fan, I think, okay, if I stop your fullbacks and I go blow for blow with Hendo and Fabinho, is Thiago that good to go and win the game himself?
Thiago's playing 20 yards further up the pitch in a different formation, yes. If you take Ronaldo out and you replace him with Thiago doesn't have the physical attributes or the fitness to sit in the pocket to do what Ronaldo does. So then you have to change your shape, and then you have to do what the guys have said, which is quite right, which is play Henderson and Fabinho in a double pivot and give Thiago a bit more of a license to go and play football. In doing that, if you attack down the right-hand side and it breaks down, you do what Real Madrid did to us last night.
Yeah, you're gonna.
When you take possession of the ball, you just switch the life out of the ball, and eventually you'll get in behind Liverpool because we need the two world-class ball recyclers in the likes of Henderson and Ronaldo to cover that spot, to stop that being a counter-attack for the opposition. All Real Madrid did last night was pick the ball up, work a little angle and switch it. And how many times did they do that? And they put 40 passes together by stopping and seeing the ball by doing that. So if you don't play...
But they didn't create much, though.
That's what I was going to say.
They didn't need to. That was a really professional European performance.
No,
the way that they played.
But we take our chances. If we take our chances, we come out.
I agree, but we didn't. But if you look at what they did, they sat Tony Cruz in front of their back four, and when they did attack, he wasn't interested. Because if it breaks down, Liverpool's transition is so quick. The likes of Modric and Casemiro will get left up top end of the field, going chasing goals, and we're in. So they just put Tony Cruz in there, who's intellectual, clever enough to go, I need to go 10 yards to the left and 10 yards to the right. And guess what? I just shut down all the space that you boys want to play in. That was spot on.
But the thing is, unless it's a fast counter attack, I find that midfield, especially with Genie in it, and I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it, man. I really is flipping face, this boo-boo with his hood on. But like Man U, I know, but listen, we like it's. I love football, innit? I love
football, guys.
I love football, innit? Like that's just unfortunate. That's how it is, innit? Look at him still grinning teeth, though. But no, there was one goal that they scored. Like it was a counter attack, and the passing was, I think it was against Wolves or something. And I was like, fuck me. Like with us, unless it's so open, like you say, like it is. So our close play is very poor, especially with Genie.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even want to do it. You know them ones there? You don't like our intellectual little run off, like play the little, and
One,
that's
two,
when
yeah.
Thiago will shine. You know, them little no look bang will find that pocket
I
of
think-
space and will find that, like, will at least
Go
be
back to what
progressive.
Bob said before that and someone else said it as well. The movement in front of the ball at Manchester City is of a different level to what it's been at Liverpool.
Yeah.
You need your front three to be able to create what Man City do better than anybody else. They create angles and they ask you questions. Can you deal with their angles? Can you deal with the reverse ball from the byline that's pulled back into your box? Somebody's always going to get on the end of that score. They are very, very clever. They play on the front foot completely, and we don't. So the situation we've got at the moment, and Genie cops a lot of flack for this, is he gets the ball in a position, he tends to look up, and Bobby's not interested. And Salah's isolated himself out on the right wing and getting whitewash on his boots because the game's not going well. And when Liverpool aren't playing well, Salah goes wider and wider and wider and wider, and then he's completely out of the game. And then you've got Sadio Mane, who couldn't get a cow's arse with the banjo at the moment, and you're looking at it thinking, I don't want to give him the ball.
Yep. If I'm a Liverpool midfielder, I mean, Bobs, you know how it is, right? You know how it is,
bro. You're killing me, bro. Relax, bro.
Bobs, you know how it is. Say when you're playing football, right? And you're in a team, and you have this one player, you're just like, man, I'd rather lose the ball myself.
Yeah, we've got that.
Than pass. Sadio Mane is that person that you look up and you're like, shit.
No, but do you know what it is, yeah? Is there a force field or something? Because when I look at him at just before the halfway line and back, mate, he's incredible. He's fucking incredible.
Yeah. Do you know?
As soon as man hits, like, literally that final third, it's like, wow. It's like he just melts and don't know, can't beat his man. His touch is poor. I've seen him get a ball fizzed into him on like, say, like the halfway line on the left, take it. Then man can't fucking find his feet when it's like literally, bro, it's ridiculous. And then when I'm just about to literally be like, I'm done with you, the Wolves go. He's taking it, boom, passing, taking it again, no look, passing, boom, boom, Jota score. I'm like, huh? You've got this. Like the brother's still got like 7 goals and 5 assists. I'm just like, bro, what's going on?
I'm sorry, I've seen 4 games now. I've isolated Mane. I've seen 4 games. This man, I can guard him. He's predictable. He is so predictable. Every touch, I can tell you where he's going. I can tell you his body language is like, Vinch, you know what?
That's why he ain't beat his man all season.
Because he's like, I'm gonna make it look like I'm trying to get by, right? It's like, oh, here I tried, and then he just gives the ball away. And we're like, come on, we're not foolish.
Guys,
that's why my theory, Bobs, is that man does not enjoy playing for Liverpool right now. Firmino does not enjoy playing for Liverpool right now. That's just fact. It's in his body language. I've never seen Mane play like that in his entire life. Even when he has a bad game, he doesn't have 4 bad games. 4. Ramadan or not. Stop it.
Bro, I beg you pull up Nathan's comment. He's on smoke, bro.
Yeah. You know, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna bring it up. But guys, I just want you guys to answer. Wait. Let's bring it up.
Nathan's stupid.
Nathan's moving like Dino gets threatened by the busy move.
No.
Oi, you're foul for that. Look at this one. Football Capital, aka Bocce. Do you think Thiago to United and Donny to Liverpool would have made more sense, guys?
Nope.
No.
Why not?
Because Van der Beek's not a Liverpool type of player either.
Yep. He'll probably be even more upset than he is at Man United.
I think Thiago is a professional enough to be able to deal with it. Like you said, you'd ask him, or Steve said, you'd ask him at the end of the season, he'd be like, "No, I didn't really enjoy it." But he'd go and do. Donny ain't that type of. Do you know what I mean? Like it isn't. We aren't set up like that way. You know what I mean? And I think definitely.
Bob's
I
the
think-
next one.
Yeah,
No, it's the
Mane.
next one.
I think
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The one in Ghana and the one in Portugal looked live.
No, the one in Ghana went hard.
Yeah, the
Rant
one in
said,
Ghana
Rant,
looked amazing.
shout out Rants and Bants, man. Rant said, Mane traded his hairline for football talent. Like, what's that? Like, my man, what's his name? The one with the fucking stones in the Marvel. And he traded his daughter for the
Thanos,
gauntlets.
Thanos.
Thanos. He said, man had to trade his hairline for talent.
We need that blonde streak back. That's all we want.
Yeah, do you know? This is a good question here. Okay, who is Liverpool's type of? Big up to Ben. He's a Spurs fan. Who's his Liverpool type of player? Because I'm hearing a lot of rejection of a lot of very good players. Like,
If United rejects Van de Beek, why would we?
I've also got one question for you, Bobs. After this, I've got a question.
Yeah,
for
no,
you.
but I don't think. Do you know what? Yeah, if we're just to go on Man United, I don't think. I think the Van de Beek signing was two things: economical, and he's young. That's it. And I believe Pogba was leaving before COVID. I think they had agreed. I think Pogba had a gentleman's agreement. One more season, I'm gone. And they're like, yeah, give us one more season. So Donny van de Beek was bought in to be integrated, to be bedded, and so on and so on. It's not worked for him, which is unfortunate. But I don't blame him. I blame the people that scouted him, and I blame the people that bought him, because if you've watched him play, it doesn't make sense him coming to our team. So that's why I think they must have just
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah. And like, because I just think he plays like a second striker. We don't play the way Ajax plays. So it doesn't really make sense for him to come to Man United. It doesn't make sense at all.
And you've got Bruno, who's able to penetrate those areas. So you don't need
exactly. And Donny doesn't play like that anyway.
I didn't get it.
Even in the system right now, you can't play. He can play in the double pivot, but Fred is not good enough to be left on his own. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So we can't put him there. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
what about McSauce?
He's not good enough. Not good enough. So that's why I think for Donny, it's unfortunate, because Donny likes to get involved. He likes to create runs. He likes to be a part of the play and stuff. But unfortunately, his initial duty is to actually help out Fred, and it's not working in the system.
That's not his game.
So that problem is actually with Ollie. Ollie needs to find out, but if you know my personal thoughts on Ollie, like, he's not equipped enough or smart enough to find out a way. He's not surrounded by good enough coaches to come up with it, because if this is Holland, Spain, listen, if Spain can play Iniesta, Xavi, Mata, who else was it? All these players in one starting 11. You try to tell me you can't get Bruno and Donny van de Beek in a team? That's all I'm going to say on that. Say, what did you want to say?
From a rival fan, what player would you say that Liverpool have got who was already like star-studded? Like, we didn't make him into that. We got him. We bought him. Like,
Fabinho.
You were like,
that's a shout.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Honest to God,
that's a shout.
Remember, it was a funny saga, that, wasn't it? We were linked with him. He signed
Chelsea. Remember, they went for Babayako. They went for Babayako.
Bakayoko.
Remember, and then it was like, wow.
He signs for Liverpool. Like, literally just signs for Liverpool. And
I was so happy.
Like, is.
I've never sang like that before.
When I would say I watch football, I remember, people forget it. Like, do you remember Eurosport, gentlemen? Eurosport used to play the French league and stuff. And you'd stream whatever you can watch to watch football. If it doesn't matter if it's flipping Liga, it's Serie A, I'd watch it. So when I was like Fabinho, I was like, whoa, if we can get this player, right back, centre midfield. It's the plug. Do you know what I mean? Like for holding midfielder to be agile, mobile, acceleration,
His
recovery,
shots.
and technical, and he's a goal threat from range, right? And what was it, under 40 million or something you guys got for it?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? Are
35,
you
was it?
kidding me?
There's something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
36
like
Are you
something.
kidding
Yeah.
me? Like what?
That's ridiculous. I lie.
Yeah,
I lie.
and obviously look at the success you had. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Look at-
It's not a coincidence that.
No,
Do
it's
you know
not.
what I
No.
mean?
You're right. Look at. I asked that because, to be very honest with you, you got me. I wasn't even thinking that, but I before said that Thiago was our first one. But even look where you had to go. Look how far you have to go for a club. Do you know what I mean? We
Yeah, but
we don't
that's
get
it.
stars like that. You know what I
Everyone's
mean?
everyone's looking now. See for the transfers now. Everyone's looking at Haaland and Mbappe, and I always say to people that I talk to, I say to them, remember, our house is not built with the roof. Like,
Bro.
just remember that, you know. And they're like, oh, but you need to get the goals. I'm like, yeah, but
No, but one. That's one thing, Bobby. No, that's one thing. I totally agree. But we need a killer, bro. That's one thing. You know what? If you offered me, you know how bad it is. Do you know how bad it is? If you offered me Haaland, and you can get Haaland, and you can't, what's it called? Really invest in any other part of the. I'd say yes. How much of a because at home minus penalties and own goals, we didn't score in 115 shots on target. Like, brother, we against a Real Madrid who didn't have a Varane or a Ramos, bro. Like, out of the shots we created, we scored one goal. Like, bro,
no Carvajal.
no
Carvajal.
We make chances, bro. We just need a killer to. You know, we lost 6 games at home, all 1-0, all 1-0. So we're asking the defense.
I thought we had Salah. Salah is a killer, no?
Ryan,
mute this guy. Mute him. We're asking the defense to be perfect because if the attack takes their chances in those games, 2-1, 3, we ain't talking about nothing. Do you see what I'm saying? We need a killer. That's one thing that I do. I hear your sentiment, but for us,
no, but like, do you know what? Like, do you know what?
Let's Bobby, no false 9, no wing forward, no Salah.
Right, what's your thought?
Killer.
Right, what's your thoughts?
Well, I always say that even last season where we won the league and won pretty much every game, people say we won a lot of games. We grinded out a lot of results, you know, by the odd goal, which, yeah, we won a lot of games by the odd goal. But if you look back at those games, most of those games we should have won about 4 or 5. It's just that we were missing so many goddamn chances in those games that we were left holding on at the end for the win. Realistically, those games should have been 4 or 5 to us. So this clinical problem has always been there for quite a few years, to be honest, with this team. It's just that we've created so many chances. But I think I wanted to go back to the Thiago thing. I think in terms of one game this season where I remember where I was like, wow, he was really good, this could work, was away to Tottenham in January where we won 3-1. And I remember he played Thiago in sort of like a number 8, and I think it was Henderson and Wijnaldum in midfield with him, I think, and it worked really well. I remember Thiago's more on the right side of the midfield as the right-sided 8, and he was linking up really well with like Firmino, Mane and Salah, and that was one where I thought this could actually work, but obviously, so maybe that could be an option in the future as well, play Thiago in that sort of way, maybe, because he has shown that maybe, you know, it can work.
Is that sustainable, Ryan? Is that sustainable?
I mean, but then obviously
with Van Dijk in the back, yeah, man, come on.
Okay,
I mean,
okay. Look, look. You know, potentially you're going to have your best players come back. Okay, there's no debate, argument about that, right? And okay, my next question to you guys: Champions League, you're there. Okay, summer calm transfer window. Forget about the board now. Okay. Is there a hunger with the current Liverpool players to go again? And I'm not talking about Klopp here. Okay.
I'm talking about the players.
Because Klopp is an easy yes. Okay.
Boss, can I go first?
There's 5
go
or
ahead,
6.
Steve.
There's 5 or 6. So you get your hunger back from your two centre halves would come back because there's a whole year of their game's gone. You get a hunger from Alisson because he looks in front of him and he's got Van Dijk and Gomez, and that's going to make him feel confident.
I'm just gonna hype man you, Steve. Don't worry. Go on.
You get you get confidence from Robbo and Trent because they can go and do what they do because Henderson's back. You get Henderson and Fabinho juiced up because they're playing their positions, and then you're back to the front. And then you're back to the front three again, and you're looking at the front three and you're thinking, where's their motivation? Because that's what we're asking right now. Where's their motivation?
Yeah, it's like
Bad boy, Steve.
yeah, Bobs. It's like what Steve said. The hunger comes from knowing that you can actually do it. Instead of these players know they can't, challenge for a league with the injuries we've had this season. So why would there be hunger over something you can't do? Whereas if you can have the system to be able to, and then the hunger does increase. But I think, what was I going to say? I think Henderson as well. I've never, over the years, I've never been Henderson's biggest fan in terms of the way he plays and stuff. But even I've had to admit over the last 2 to 3 years that he is a big, big part of the team and a big part of the system, and we really miss him when he doesn't play. And I think you've seen, like, without him as well, along with Van Dijk, there is something really badly missing. I mean, in that midfield, in the first half of the season, a lot of the time he was still there in that midfield, and we were, top at Christmas, doing okay, in a good position. And then obviously he gets injured, or he actually moved to centre-back to play with Fabinho and Kabak for a bit. Obviously he's not in midfield then, and then he gets injured and it hasn't been the same. So I think also
Ryan,
when he comes back...
Pause there, Ryan, right? No, guys, you're the gaffer. Should you move Henderson back there, or do you just bring in the best centre back in your reserves or your under 23s?
You did that
because you've still got a centre back, right? That plays
centre back to centre backs, Bob. That's what you do. You play centre backs to centre back positions.
Because me and Vinchi have spoken about this like loads and loads of times, right? Like, and we done it with Carrick, we done it with Fletcher, and I think to myself, why not? Are you trying to tell me? I mean, we've all got academies. We boast about being able to develop and bring up blah, blah, blah. Are you trying to tell me we've not got a centre-back or a centre-half, as what people say?
Well, he tried, didn't it? He tried. His name was Reece Williams, and he was trash.
No, but like before putting Henderson in, because Henderson went in before you tried the Reece guy.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking. So I'm asking, like, Steve, you've said that centre-back plays at centre-back. Because I personally think that you missed something there. Here comes the little rogue.
My G. Oh God.
Come on.
Well, if you put your centre backs in and you restore Henderson and Fabinho into your midfield, you stand a very good chance of protecting those back two inexperienced or not. And that's the trade-off, and that's what you couldn't afford to do. It didn't work, and it failed. End of.
But then Steve, just to answer that, Vinci, right? So actually, no, Vinci, I'll let you go. Then I'll ask you guys the next question.
Okay, so Bobs, we back to whether there's hunger, right? Mm-hmm. Just to touch on that question, I think this season has shown a lot of Liverpool fans that when we talk about Henderson, when we're missing Henderson, it's not just the body of work, right? It's his voice, it's that leadership, right? And Van Dijk, right? Except the fact that this man has been, I think we massively underrate him. A percentage of balls he wins in the air. Mm-hmm. In fact, the fact that people don't want to jump because he's there. All the headers he gets from a defensive corner, he gets almost like 80%. So his talents alone, and not just that, his voice alone in talking to anybody he's next to is honestly an attribute that any team would die for right now. Like literally
even his progressive play.
Yeah,
you know that?
I'm not even.
Van Dijk has better pass than some of our midfielders.
Say, I've not even gotten there to his passing delivery, his accuracy, to his shots. So I'm not even touching on that. So what I'm saying is, in terms of Van Dijk coming, that's going to be a lift. Now, what we've seen from Liverpool is that we've seen people who still play for the badge, who care enough for the badge, regardless of the situation. We can still see they're giving 110%. We've seen Nat Phillips do that. We've seen Milner do that. We've seen Robbo do that. We've seen Trent do that. Whether or not his attributes are matching, we've seen him give effort, type of thing. We've seen Salah to some extent look interested.
And hang on. To some extent, what are you chatting about? To some extent,
no, let's be real. Steve just mentioned earlier that we see that Salah disappears sometimes during the game. He just goes further down the right side, and then he just he's not involved anymore. Firmino, we've seen Firmino show disinterest. We see Mane obviously show disinterest. Yeah. Now, in terms of next season, personally speaking, in this subject, I'm thinking if I was, forget bored, I don't care who my front three are. I know Saint is talking about having a killer, right? I get it. But for me, I don't care about that because I'm interested in players that have tactical quality and can run and can give 100% of the effort and is willing to learn. Because Klopp can turn...
But have you got that time, though? Have you got that time?
No, but here's my thing. Here's my thing, right? Salah comes in. First of all, Mane came in first before Salah. Firmino, Mane came in, right? I watched highlights of games without Salah, and Mane looked like a different individual. Even when Salah came, initially, the first 2 seasons, the link-up play between all three of them, it was unbelievable. The way they moved around each other, it was like they were playing for each other. When one person is sprinting on a counter-attack, the other one is bursting because they know they'll probably get the ball. Right now, one person is sprinting, the other person is just like, oh, he's going to finish it. If he doesn't finish it, oh well.
But then does this not come to this comment then? The hunger. Bobs, these guys haven't won enough to lose hunger. Winning is everything. Winning every year builds hunger. How do you lose motivation for winning 2 trophies within 6 years?
We've not won 2 trophies. We've won more than 2 trophies.
Hang on, Vinchi, for the hunger point, what was your point when the whole hunger thing?
No, my thing is, those 3 are not hungry enough for me, personally speaking.
I agree.
They're not.
If
Liverpool gets rid of all 3 of them, I'm not going to be too upset.
No, but we can't do that. We can't do that.
I agree.
I know realistically, we can't do that. I know that.
We shouldn't do that either.
I wouldn't be mad.
I like Sonny. 2 of the 3 are front 3. What the? Wait a minute. I was with you. I was like...
I'm with Vinci. I wouldn't be sleep if we lost any of those 3.
You know what? I was listening, and I was like,
listen.
No, I get that. And he's like,
say, let me explain. Jota comes in, becomes the main striker, right? You like that, right?
You don't win the league with Jota up front on his own.
No.
Oh, if we sell on 3 of them, it will only be Jota there. So
and Jota and Jota, like I'm sorry, as good as Jota is, he's not. His back ain't strong enough to be carrying the whole of our like I'm telling you, like his lumbar spine ain't strong, bro.
I mean, he plays forward, but obviously, I'm saying that you replace the 2. I don't care who you replace him with, but they fall into the system. Okay, I'm not saying bring a scrub. Right? But obviously, another 2 that fits the system using analytics.
Who's the 2 out of 3 that you would lose? Because you're talking Mane, Bobby, Salah. You're saying, so who is it that who's surplus to requirements for you?
Okay, let me give you the order, right? Right now, as of right now, from what I'm seeing, Mane goes first, right?
Ooh. I'm with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mane goes first. Second.
Oh, wow.
Second, Salah goes.
Then you lose.
Right, okay, wait.
I'm like, whoa.
And now, I know there's Salah lovers here. I know. You're funny. The Salah lovers are very quiet about the game that happened yesterday. They're very quiet.
Sonny, Sonny.
He missed chances, and
Oh.
I said that we might have come out because of the chances that he missed. I'm not going to sit here and hide behind that. But he's still second only to Harry Kane in fucking tops. Bro, if not for him, who the hell else in our team is taking those chances? Mane.
Saints. Somebody else will put the ball in the back of the net if he's not
No,
there.
they wouldn't.
I'm telling
No, they
you.
wouldn't.
They don't.
I'm not allowing that. I'm
telling
not
you.
allowing that.
He's-
I'm not
he's
allowing
being
that, bro.
Saying,
He's
No, they
being
Sonny
not.
is saying,
No.
They're feeding
No.
him.
Sonny and
He's
saying,
being fed.
Yo, I love
obviously you don't agree with that.
My
Can
issue
you
with what he
elaborate?
said, my issue with what he said is the fact that Firmino was third.
Do you know why? Let me. All right. For what Sonny said, let me interrupt. Let me intervene. Right. The only reason I say this, yeah, because a lot of people coming at my head on my channel, innit? They think I'm doing this for clickbait and trying to grow my channel. I'm not. I'm just trying to be. I'm trying to be very, very. Listen, like at the end of the day, yeah, we can all sit in. We're all grown men, innit? We all know the type of. Not you prick. You have rich. You have rich daddies, innit? I don't care whether they talk to each other or not. Your parents are rich. Do you understand? Like they just throw cash at you. Like here's a car. Like you know what I mean? Stop crying. Like so, we don't have them owners, innit? Our owners are a lot more stringent and are a lot more on this buy to sell bullshit, all of that nonsense, innit? That realistically, it is for what we've won. It's outrageous that realistically we can't look at like getting a Haaland or a flipping or whoever. Like it's never gonna happen, innit? So in that sense, someone has to go. Someone has to go. I just look at it as Mane has been out of form realistically for most of this season. I don't know if he's over the hill, but he's definitely he's a power and pace. He's not a technical player. He's a power and pace. He's lost a bit of that power, that explosion. He's not beating men. His decision making is a mazza, and I personally think it's due to too much playing. He's been playing everything, too much playing. Yeah, so I feel like he needs to chill. But we don't have Glaziers or Etihad men who are going to say, Mane, relax, we'll go and get a next man. No, we don't have that in it. So out of that, I'm being realistic. Bobby don't fetch no money, Sonny. He don't fetch money enough.
We
for
can't.
us
We
to be
we
able
can't
to
think like
rebuild.
that though, because I'm sorry, but my man's just put Salah Mane ahead of Firmino. Like that can't run. Firmino's been awful for 18 months.
What do you think Bobby fetches in this market?
Well,
Yeah,
how much money? I
17
think
million.
we can get a bit of money for Firmino. I'm
What?
sorry, we will get a bit of
What?
money. I'd say
What?
30
You
or
can.
10.
Sonny.
You can.
Right, get a lot, I'll be
I beg you,
honest.
tell him. Bobby isn't a Liverpool fan, so let's see what you say as a rival. What would you say Bobby fetches?
Say he starts for Brazil, doesn't he?
Oh, but come on, you're acting like this is.
Come on,
Oh,
Dave.
come on,
But
man.
Bobby's brilliant.
Oh, no.
Nah, Bitz.
Bobby Jesus.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
That
feel
Bobby
like
ain't
this
starting.
Brazil-
Bitz. Bobby. Real talk. As a rival fan, what would you fetch for Bobby? What do you think in this market?
Do you know what?
Your
I'm gonna be
namesake.
honest with you, right? I'm
It
gonna
don't
be
help
honest
when we
with you,
abuse
like,
him on here every week, though, does it? Like, come on, let's try and take away what we said about him. Let's pretend he's an all right player, and then
No.
No, I don't think he's that bad. I'm just saying. Like, go on.
I don't think you guys bought him for 30. Was it 30?
Yeah, 29
yeah.
mil.
I think it's
Right.
less.
I think you'd be fortunate
No, it's
to get
30,
that 30 back, if I'm honest.
See, and I don't think he's. I think
And,
he's
and, like,
well.
and when I say that, yeah, I mean that like
Though,
what the
just
way
saying.
Liverpool play, and obviously Firmino's quite instrumental to that. Not many other teams play like that. So if you're telling me you're centre forward
And
and
you're
you're
not
not even
banging.
giving me double digits, 15 plus, I'm not buying you. Do you know what I mean? So like that's
But
what
he's
I'm saying.
not a centre forward though.
But hey.
He's a
but
number
listen,
10.
listen, no.
he ain't even a 10, man. He ain't a
I
football
don't
player.
even think he's no, but like guys, we
I'm not saying a
remember
good number 10, but he is a number 10.
I think he's.
I never
I
said he
think
was
he'd
a
be a
good
decent number 10. I think he'd be a decent number
No,
10.
but he
to be
pretty
fair.
much plays number 10, though.
But yeah, but see, the thing is that like,
Yeah.
he's
that's
not.
the
He's
problem.
playing that. There you go. Thank you. Yeah,
Because
he
he's got
shouldn't
number
be
9
playing
on his
that.
back. He's
Yeah.
got number 9 on his back, and he's playing number 10, and that's the
But
problem.
forget
No,
what's on his
no,
back.
no,
He was wearing
no.
11 before.
But
He's
did
the
you?
number 11 shirt
He's
back.
a striker, though, is he not? He's supposed to be a striker.
Yeah, but if we put him as
He's not
striker,
a striker. We don't see him that
worse.
way.
If we put him as a striker, it'd be worse, though. So it's
To
bad
be
or bad.
honest with you, To be honest with you, he isn't a striker. Let's be honest.
He
He was
isn't.
never bought. He was never bought as a striker, and he was never a striker. It was Klopp that said, "My man, I got this role for you. This is what you're doing, and put that.
Klopp didn't even call him a striker.
No,
He's
no.
not.
Yeah,
To
but
answer
when
my
you
question-
slap the number 9 on a man
Exactly.
and you play him
Come on,
in brother,
don't take
come on,
number
bro.
and-
Come
yeah,
on.
like,
Nah,
David Beckham wore 23. What does that mean? Stop
yeah,
it, boy.
he wore that because of flipping
Nah.
Michael Jordan. He
And
told
all,
Stop
but
it.
like he weren't a striker.
No.
He's like 11 or 9. No one ain't no number 5.
No,
Exactly.
Nick.
Come on, bro.
Nick, we
That's
need to
like,
change-
come on,
we need
brother.
to change Firmino's number back to Nick. We need to change
joining Man
Firmino's
City and
number back
saying,
to
yeah,
number
man's taking
11.
number
innit?
18.
So Ryan, right, exactly what you're
needs to
saying.
be
So
11.
so the only problem right now I'm hearing is that man needs to change his number to 11, and then we'll all be
Man needs to
cool.
change his number to number 11, innit?
He needs to change his number to 11. You're right. And also, like, play the way he's played the 10.
Oh, you can't
Be
say
11,
that, man.
play
You
the 10.
can't.
And play like, because when we play the 4-2-3-1, brother, you cannot tell me he's not effective.
No, but what about James Milner? He's number 7. Should we change him to like a number 8? Is he going to start playing better? So it doesn't work like that, man.
No, but Milner, you can't say that because Milner plays Milner. What's wrong with Milner?
No,
No,
there's
what's wrong
not a
with
problem
Milner?
with Milner, but it's like an example. Is the number on the shirt doesn't matter.
No, I'm
man.
not saying
Yeah.
that. I only say the number on the shirt in terms of where he played. Like it, and it does. It's like you say that, but when you're
Martial
someone's a
done the
number
same
9,
thing. I'm with
say,
you, bro.
I was
I'm with
just
you.
about to say that, brother. We're football
I'm with
guys.
you.
Bitz.
I'm
I was
with
just about
you.
to say they know with Martial when he is that you have
Yeah, but
that
Martial's quality
expectancy.
though, there's a difference.
No, okay. Do you know? We're gonna disagree to agree here. Okay?
Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna
It's a good
discuss.
combo. I like it.
Yeah,
It's real football combo. I like
seriously,
it. Like,
It's brilliant. It's brilliant, right? There's two things I want to talk about. Okay, the Coutinho thing.
Oh, God.
I don't know how we knew I was going to talk about that.
Aye, is that your second account?
No, it's Bocce, literally.
Trying to segue nicely.
He's from Sydney. Me and him were on a watch.
Yeah,
along.
I know. Yeah.
So guys, like Coutinho is still at Barcelona, I believe so. Yes, he is.
You see the team photo?
Yeah,
They had to
he's
edit
injured.
him in, like Photoshop him in. They didn't even like get him in the team photo. They had to Photoshop it.
What, really?
Yeah, like he wasn't actually there.
Disrespect.
But is it not because what's it called? Something about if they play him, they due Liverpool money or something like that?
No, that's all. They've had all the money for him now. It was all.
Have they
all this-
actually?
yeah. They've got it. It's
They
a third party.
They restructured the deal through a bank. We got our money early, and that deal went between Barcelona and the bank.
And the
So,
back,
so they're just
It's like debt
disrespecting him
collector.
then. Literally, they're just disrespecting him then. Okay. Coutinho, would you take a Coutinho back?
Hell yeah.
He's getting
No.
injury problems
Oh,
now.
yeah.
man.
No.
Wait.
Coutinho
One
back
voice.
from Liverpool.
Ryan, did you say no?
If you gave me Philip Coutinho from when he played for Liverpool, that one back, then 100% I'd take him back tomorrow, innit? But he's been getting a lot of injury problems. He's been off form. So, I do love Coutinho, though. I loved him so much. That's the thing.
But that's not. I'm not asking you the Coutinho of Liverpool. I'm not asking you the Champions League winner Coutinho. I'm asking you.
The Champions League and Coutinho weren't even good.
Hey, mate, listen.
Well, he was
put your
half
fingers on the
decent in
table,
that game,
Sonny.
though. He weren't bad.
Yeah,
He weren't
he's
good though.
bro. He
Against
contributed.
his parent club. He was better than them, bro.
No, yeah, but 8-2, man. If he didn't score one of those 8 goals, I would have been disappointed.
Oh, Sonny.
Sometimes you just can't talk to these man.
Well,
You
if
just
Salah
can't
was
talk to
there,
these
he
man,
scored
bro.
one of those goals. You would have been all over it, bro.
Oh,
Say
Okay,
again?
okay. Who's yes and who's no to take?
No.
Steve,
I'd
why
say
no?
no. I'd say no.
Why not? Because when a man pays £5 million of his own money, feigns a back injury so he can't play for Liverpool, yet goes and plays for Brazil, and when he's with Brazil, tells all the
I
coaching
forgot.
staff he's being bullied by the coaching staff at Anfield. I don't ever want to see him anywhere near the club
I
again.
forgot.
The man's a traitor.
Does anyone steer?
Steve's like the North remembers.
Does anyone disagree with Steve?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, go on.
I wouldn't say disagree, not as such. I agree wholeheartedly with Steve. I know,
Okay.
and I remember that, bro. The thing is, yeah, you see me, brother. I love I just
He's
love
a bad
success,
boy,
you
though.
know.
He's a bad
No,
boy.
Brother, I
hang
just
on,
love
don't take away the
success, brother.
storyline, man.
I love my club, bro. Like Luis Suarez was a racist, and bro, I'm even like, you know them way there. Like as long as he comes back and apologizes, you know them way there. Like bro, I love my club. I just want. What do you want? I want
That's not the
success. Like,
Dave, that's
you know
not
what it
the
is, yeah.
answer.
I do hear
That's
that.
not the
I
answer.
do hear that.
That's not the
I
answer.
do hear that. But the only thing I'll counter with that, the only thing I'll counter with that is the way things turned out. I think he's human, and I think in actual fact he would absolutely die for an opportunity to come. I don't think there would be any type of ego there or nothing. I think yes, bro, Bear Man have done it to us, Steve. Sterling did it to us. Coutinho done it to us. Suarez done it to us.
That, bro. Let's be honest.
Even
guys.
Torres
like,
did it
it is
to
what
us.
it is. And if you're-
They never went telling people we were bullying them and feigned injury. Suarez had his demons, we know that, and he ended in a move. He tried to go to Arsenal for an extra pound over his transfer thing. Liverpool was only ever a stepping stone for Suarez. That's the way he saw the football club. We enjoyed him while he played for us. Sterling, we all know about Sterling. Sterling's agent comes out and says he wouldn't sign a contract for £500,000 a week because he wants to go and play through the middle for Manchester City. Guess what? He plays out wide for Manchester City, so that's bullshit.
We know, bro.
But Fernando Torres as well. Look,
Fernando Torres, we got 50 million
was
quid.
great, but he's still my favourite player of all time.
Someone reached in Fernando Torres and switched him off, and we got 50 million quid for him, mate.
But the only thing is, if Coutinho come out, listen, like I'm really, really happy to be here, and I'm sorry that I'm ready to make amends. And well, that's what it would take a little.
No, but saying is Coutinho even good enough though? Because Coutinho for me wouldn't even be good enough as a player.
He's got a note.
Sonny's better than Ronaldo.
One voice. Sonny, go.
No, what I'm saying is I get like what an excuse to not have him is because what he said that, but for me he's not even good enough. Like if we get Coutinho, we need to remember we're not going to get someone else who could be in his position, who could be even better.
He's not good enough anymore.
Bitz asked the question. Bitz asked the question. He didn't put no price on it. He didn't ask no. So I'm thinking, like I'm just taking it for what it is. If you then start adding caveats, then yeah, possibly. But like, bruv, if you were like, you take him for 5 mil or something, like, yeah, why not? I want to be NSG, bro. I want to be NSG. I want options. You know them ones there. That's what I want.
Yeah. NSG, shout out NSG. Come on. But okay, guys. Like the final thing I'll say on Coutinho. The reason why I wanted to go there is because I want to. My last question to you all. And listen, gentlemen, I thank you for your company. This has been fantastic. Literally, I'm enjoying this conversation so much that I don't want it to end. Summer signings, right? Man United. I mean, every Man United YouTuber fan channel always talk about we need to get this player, we need to get that player. But one thing I never hear about from the Liverpool point or the Liverpool camp is, we saw the Kanate, the conversations and the stuff in media. But I never hear Liverpool say we need to get that player, we need to get that player, we need to get that player. So my question to you guys, okay, who? Sonny, I want you to go first. Who or whom, okay, should you be looking to purchase to not to compete, to show intent on winning the league?
Well, that's like without a question. It would be Haaland or that, but the reason we're not saying that is because it's not going to happen. So if I'm being realistic, it's more of a thing.
If you buy Haaland, right? If you sign Haaland,
yeah,
you need to fix up the way you play because Haaland is all about goals.
The way we play is not good enough, though.
Sorry, but
the way we play, we'll lose a game.
You've won the Champions League. You won the league.
You're starting to sound like our fans. That's why apparently Wijnaldum should still play for us because what he done in 2018. I'm not having it, man.
Okay, Sonny. Okay, you get Haaland. Do you just stop there?
What do you mean? Well, no. Look, if I'm being
just the case of Van Dijk, long ball, Haaland.
No, if I'm being realistic, if we weren't to get Haaland, there would be no one else. Like it would only be Haaland because the price would be ridiculous. We're not even going to get him.
I don't think it'll be ridiculous because Dortmund are not in Champions League next season.
No, but it'd be ridiculous to us anyway. So I would still have. I want a midfielder because Gini Wijnaldum for me needs to go like so badly.
I
He
agree.
needs to
I think
go.
he's gone anyway.
I agree.
Hopefully he is gone. Like, he's genuinely like losing me years of my
Hallelujah,
life
bro.
watching him play. It's so frustrating. I really like Basuma from Brighton. I think he's very good, so that could be a good replacement. That's me being
from United.
realistic.
Leave him
I
alone.
think he's overrated. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, you think everyone's overrated, Ryan, man? Stop it.
I think
Basuma
Basuma's
is
overrated, innit?
Wait. Who's
Basuma's
overrated?
quality, you know. Basuma's quality.
Basuma.
Basuma. I think he's
I'm not
quality.
Yeah,
saying
he's
he's a
ball-
bad
he's a ball.
player, but he's Graham Potter's system and coaching's making Basuma look better than what he actually is.
Ryan, what about this then? Is he better than Wijnaldum?
I'm better than Wijnaldum.
Ronaldo gets a lot of hate, innit? Ronaldo, wow.
Of course
I'm
he
not even-
does.
Oh, Ryan, run the police, man.
He had one good turn on Wednesday. One good turn.
I didn't even notice
Bro,
that good turn.
Ronaldo is class,
One
man.
good
He just
turn,
is
this
a,
guy
he's
just
just
shot
not,
the
he
end
just
of
on
the
some
game.
jokes. I don't know what
He
he's
ain't
on.
class.
Okay, guys. Like Sonny, who else? You said Haaland. Okay.
Which won't
Okay.
happen, by the way. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Theoretically speaking, Haaland. Who else do you think Liverpool need to go and purchase to literally to show intent to win the league?
Another centre back, or maybe a right back, because from what we've seen with Trent defensively, if we can't play our game, he's not good enough. And as a
So-
centre
He
back,
needs competition.
When you say
Yeah, but-
that, then, but then see, I've got a funny thing about Trent because we all know what he it's like Wan-Bissaka from Man United. We know what he's good at and what he's not good at. So your manager created a system where he's protected, okay, where he's not exposed.
Yeah.
All he has to worry about is getting on the ball, doing a Mr. Whippy, and like, do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Be on
But
the
he's
thing.
very good at that. That's the thing. That's why it works when we can play our game. But when it doesn't, it's a different story, like we've seen last week.
So are you saying to be a good defender can't be coached?
No, it can, but it's like learning on the job. And if we want to win straight away, we can't be doing learning on the job because, let's be honest, Trent isn't going to be like an amazing defender next season. That just ain't how it works.
Got you. Okay.
You know what it is, right? You can't. No, I hear what you're saying in terms of to be a good defender can't be coached. In some regard, yes and no. Like I feel like you couldn't coach Wan-Bissaka to be the attacking threat that Trent is, as much as you couldn't coach Trent to be the defensive. Do you know what I mean? And now it's that.
But say, could you not try and develop better positioning? And
Yeah.
could you
That's
not
what you can do is try.
No, Pops, you can, but it still won't be
You
good enough.
can do, but
most
I don't
likely.
think they will ever be. All you can do is try
Boys,
to get better.
it's the mentality.
But
It's the mentality.
I just
ain't.
feel like I think it's more than that. I
It
don't think
ain't
that
the mentality.
Trent is that's. I don't think Trent will ever be
No,
flipping.
no.
Do you know what I mean? You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I
he
get what
can
you're
get
saying, I get
he can get better. But that is what he brings is what we need him for. We don't need him to be amazing. Do you know them ones there? We need him to be able to be switched on, cool. Because when we have Van Dijk in the only reason, like I said, the only reason why he used to let balls whip in on his side is because he had Van Dijk there and knew that. Listen, I'll let Van Dijk deal with it, and I'll be the outlet. And then by the time they've even realised what's going on, I'm behind them. I'm whipping the ball in, bro. That's
And you're in.
you know what I'm saying, like.
Bobs, the reason why I say it's mentality, what's talking a lot surrounding this, the reason why I say it's mentality is this. If Klopp comes tomorrow, tells Trent, you're no longer going forward, right? Guess what? Every single ounce of energy Trent has is going to be used in positioning and defense. He's going to not let his mind get by easily. But now, because of the role that Klopp has told him to play, Trent's mentality is, I need to get on the ball and put crosses in because nobody else is going to deliver the kind of balls I do. So if you notice his positioning when we're attacking, you find Trent in Mohamed Salah's position and Salah goes further in sometimes.
It ain't that because
Yeah,
when
ain't
Trent
even
is in
that.
position, he's getting like aced by
Positioning.
players who come past him. Like when he's in position at that
it's
right back,
one-on-one,
when he's ready to
one of
defend,
plays-
he's still getting burned.
Not all the time.
Yeah, when a player's
Not
going
all the time.
Stop it.
But guys, Sonny does make a good point though, because one-on-one this season,
yeah,
is
he's weak.
evidently You know, we've seen Dwight McNeil, we've seen Vinicius, we've seen Rashford.
Wait. He pocketed Vinicius on Wednesday. Stop it.
That's what I was going to say.
remember.
And even
He
that
pocketed
first game,
it.
even that
Because he
first
done
game,
one
do you remember
shoulder guard.
the 2 on
That's
1?
pocketing.
No, but the 2 on 1. Do you remember the 2 on even the first game? Like there was a couple times when he had it like, bro, he isn't all bad. Like he's just
No,
not
he ain't
great.
all bad, but is it good enough?
He's not great. No, he is, bro. He is. He's
Okay,
I'm telling you, it's mentality.
He will get better. He will get
Let's
better.
not-
Nick, 1-on-1 defensively, he's not good 1-on-1, man. Sterling's done him as well before. Sterling did him at Anfield a couple of months back. 1-on-1.
Yeah,
Well, Sterling did Gomez. Sterling's done everybody. So
I was just
stop
about to
it.
say Sterling is not.
Yeah, but
It's not an
Sterling's
easy
overrated
person,
as well,
bro.
man.
No, Sterling
You
can
need
do
to
anybody on a good
remember- You
day.
need to remember with Ryan, when you bring up other players, he doesn't rate them either. So, you know, be careful.
Yeah,
Sterling is
Sterling's
a
overrated anyway.
slippery agent. Tell me someone that Sterling hasn't dropped a shoulder on. Like, come
Thank
on,
you.
man. Like, come on, man.
Wan-Bissaka.
Brother, he sat Wan-Bissaka on his ass, bro, and then Wan-Bissaka's had to just. Well, that's all
Anyway.
Wan-Bissaka does is sit on his ass. That's all he
We
does,
move.
bro.
We move. So I've heard, Sonny, you said Haaland and you suggested Basuma.
Anyone to replace Wijnaldum, really.
Okay. Anyone else that you think would show great intent for Liverpool to go and win the league again?
Yeah, well, we discussed right back a little bit, but I'd still say centre back more because Gomez still doesn't fill me with confidence. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Gomez
But
is,
Van Dijk.
I've said it for time. Gomez is the worst centre back at the club.
Stop
Ryan,
saying
Ryan,
that. I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that, man.
Stop it,
Ryan.
man.
Just for the
Man
record,
gets a
yeah.
haircut and then starts going on wild. Wild.
I've said this for time, man. Gomez is the worst centre back at the club. We just don't realise it. He is.
No,
man.
I
Van Dijk made him
minute,
look good, innit?
don't know about that.
No, go on, elaborate, Ryan. Go on.
I don't
Bro,
think he
this
can.
Gomez guy, man, I've never been convinced by him. Like Van Dijk, and you put me next to Van Dijk, he'll make me look good, innit? Van Dijk made Lovren look good at times, man. Like,
But do you not think that
Like-
that's a bit of a disservice though? Because Gomez did kick on though. He did kick on. He did
man,
have a good
like,
patch,
Gomez
good
is
period.
a pace merchant.
Even
That's
for
it, man.
England. Even for England. Like,
If you
come on, bro.
take
You
away
can't do that.
If you take away Gomez's
okay.
pace, Lovren's better than him.
Okay. So centre back,
But if
Basuma,
you took.
right back, and Haaland. Does anyone agree with Sonny, or does anyone think there's more important?
I think Mbappe suits Liverpool style more. But to get Mbappe, I don't know.
That's dreams.
Yeah, Mbappe.
Yeah, but Haaland's dreams as well.
And come true.
Oh, how is Haaland not a dream, but Mbappe is a dream? That's a joke.
Because like for me, I think there's more. It's more realistic for Haaland to come to England than it is Mbappe.
No, but hear what I'm
Absolutely
saying,
not.
yeah? You know what I'm saying? I heard this. Bitz, am I right in saying that he's... I can barely get the words out of my mouth. He's asking for nearly $1 million a week.
Yeah, he wants 30 million.
Who?
He's asking. Yeah. Haaland.
That's Messi money. That's ridiculous.
Bro,
Instantly,
the funny thing is, yeah,
out of a lot
like,
of clubs. Realistically, that cuts him out of a lot of clubs. There's only really like 2 clubs that he can do.
It's Real Madrid and Barcelona.
not even that. They won't even give him that.
PSG, City.
PSG.
Like,
Real Madrid.
what is a madness, bro? The only thing is, I don't know if that's maybe smart because you can't give him like a 200 grand, 300 grand, what's it called, salary, and then with bonuses, he will suck you dry. He'll hit all of them bonuses.
Yeah. But
You'll
the
probably
funny
end up
is,
paying
like,
a meal anyways.
But you can't. Yeah, that's it. There. Sorry, thanks, Ben. It's 35 mil per year post tax.
Okay, but Bobs, I want to hear what if Steve has players in mind.
Yeah.
So I agree with Sonny with Basuma. I think that's a ready-made replacement because I do think Ronaldo will leave. I don't agree with Sonny's position on that, but he's entitled to his opinion.
Yes, Steve.
So Basuma bullied us when he came to Anfield. Basuma's bullied everybody he's played against when he's been on song. He's young. He's available. He's physically strong.
Better than Wijnaldum.
If we played the way we're playing next season, like we are now, with the same formation, he's a fit. He fits in that midfield.
Yeah.
And we have to do something up front. And for that kind of money, Haaland's not going to anywhere other than to an oil club, is he really? Let's be honest. We have to go and find the next sort of Salah and Mane who come in at reasonable money and go on to the next level. And I mentioned Preston Daka before, the guy at Red Bull, who's got the movements, who's got the ability to step into one of those positions, and isn't going to ask you for £35 million a
But
year.
the problem with that, Steve, is
But
like we're
he's
talking
not
about who's going to
technically sound.
instantly kind of like challenge and win the league. I don't know if Patson Daka's coming in and doing that for like maybe give it 2 years.
Yeah.
So you throw the money at an Mbappe or a Haaland then.
I don't even.
I go?
I'm thinking there must be a player that's like in between, but I genuinely can't think of one.
Never.
Martinez.
Nah. Neves is gone. Neves is fizzled out.
Neto.
Neto,
bro.
yeah,
He's
great.
out for the next 6 months.
Neto's got a serious knee injury, so you have to see how that pans out. Martinez at Inter would be an option because he's great in front of goal.
Oh, he's brilliant.
It's difficult. It's a really strange transfer market coming up in terms of.
I'd go Jimenez up front. Personally, I think he's realistic. We could get him, and I think he'd bang. I think he'd play very well for us.
That's a realistic target, actually. Good show.
I think he's gettable.
Wolves would sell him.
Wood will cash him, and we've got a good relationship with him.
You don't know what you're buying. You don't know how he is psychologically after his head injury.
I hear all of that, but like ballers are ballers, isn't it? You know what I mean, innit? Like ballers are ballers. When he wants to, like,
I think
if he wants to ball, he can ball.
Big change of style though, as well, isn't it? To play him is a big change of style.
Yeah, but I think, like we all said, like we're in need of a change of style.
Yeah, it can't happen this summer, mate. It can't happen this summer because we've got a Euro.
No. I think Raul Jimenez can fit in this style.
He reminds me of like a slower Luis Suarez in a way, like the way he finishes stuff.
It's mad,
and his head.
He's a beast. Yeah, honestly, I think I really like him. I'd go on. No, go on, Ryan. What are you gonna say?
I think we're actually forgetting a really important thing as well. We're talking about players who we want to bring in. We need to focus on players. How the hell are Shaqiri and Origi still here, bro? Like, I'm not being funny in it. Like, what we're still bringing Shaqiri on, bro.
Shaqiri looks good when he come on.
I rate Shaqiri. I would start him over Firmino.
Bro, I agree with that sometimes, bro. I'm with you there, Sonny. Shaqiri's still got some juice.
Nah, but that's not squad depth, innit? We need to improve the squad depth as well.
Origi, I'm with you. Origi, I'm with you.
Listen,
like, bear man, innit?
Origi looks like he needs to be on some. He just doesn't need to be there.
You don't look natural, man.
It's just like. I know he got that 2-year contract, but that's because of the Champions League, innit? And like,
that's a good question actually from Bob's in the comments from Ravi. Minamino, what do we do with him?
He's on loan with it.
I couldn't care less what we do with him. To be honest, I'm not even gonna.
Man came. He came last season, right?
Yeah.
No,
so
mid-season, last January.
So he got a league. He got a league medal, innit?
Yeah.
Oh well, fair play to the guy. I mean, fair play to the
fair
guy.
Play to the guy. I can't believe that.
Let him go.
Would you cut?
Yeah.
Would you get rid of
you know
him?
what? Like, look. Bocce's put something in here. Mino Raiola wants to put 40 million on top of the transfer fee, 20 million to him and the Haaland.
It's mad.
Do you know what I think might happen with this Haaland thing? Yeah. I'd love if all the teams, all the big clubs just went, no. And then he stays at Dortmund.
Yep.
I'd like to see that because we won't get him.
No, because like, I'd love it if like the elite clubs just said, nah, stay at Dortmund. And let's see what you do then. Because it will be so interesting to see how he deals with the rejection of all the elite clubs. Because I'm not being funny yet, but like people wouldn't even give that to Messi. So do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not like...
And he might flop. He's on like a 6-game goal drought. You never know. He might be finished already.
Well, listen.
With that money, if this guy doesn't score in 3 games, what the hell? That's a loss on investment already.
Yeah, and I don't think the Premier League... the Bundesliga, the way he scored, let me not play it down that he's not a great player. He's a great player.
No, he's a baller.
Yeah, he's a baller. I just think to myself, the Premier League, you can get humbled very quickly.
Yeah.
Like Steve Dunk and them Brighton defenders can literally just make your 90 minutes, your life
Well,
hell.
okay, Bobs, hold on. Let's stop this. If you watch Haaland, I'm sorry, with his height and physique, there's nobody stopping him in the Premier League.
He decked Ruben Diaz. He decked Ruben Diaz on a race, man.
Come on.
I'm just saying, guys. But it's not happening anyway. Let's be honest. He's not coming.
Yeah.
But hang on, Haaland's brother. I don't know if you don't know this, but he supports Liverpool. He looks like he's doing well in whatever league he's in. I don't even know.
He's got a better goal ratio than Haaland.
City, I ain't gonna lie.
Do you think Haaland's brother?
He's a City fan, Haaland.
Listen, trust me. Listen, just because your dad played for a certain club doesn't mean
he ain't.
He's been pictured in a City shirt.
Listen, bro. Devante Cole used to play for Manchester City, and his dad's a Man United legend.
Haaland's brother does support Liverpool. Like, he said it on his Instagram show. I thought it was fake. I genuinely checked. He does actually support Liverpool.
Sonny, did you get a semi after reading that?
I would have.
Raiola hates Pep Guardiola's guts, mate. They cannot stand
I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Guys, we're going to wrap up in 5 minutes.
Thanks for telling me that, Steve. That's put my mind at rest, innit? Because Haaland at City would be madness,
Madness.
Madness. They can avoid that.
That would be the gauntlet, bruv. The Infinity Gauntlet. That would be it, bruv. Every stone got done.
Saying you mentioned Raul Jimenez, right? I think Podence could replace Salah.
Podence is a good player. I like him, I like Podence.
Right, Ryan? Sorry? Is that you being positive about a player, Ryan?
In time, right now.
Podensky. Do you know what? I think, Steve said something. It's about character and
in time.
Are Liverpool willing to change the way they play?
Sorry. Hang on. Can I just respond to that really quickly? Podence can replace Salah. You do know, so he came next season. Say he comes this summer, he'd have to be the top scorer next season in the Premier League, to replace Salah.
He doesn't have to be,
and then do it consecutively.
Yeah, and then do it for another 3 seasons. Yeah,
he doesn't have to be, boys. Boys, do we forget that we've come from a top 3 being Sturridge, Suarez.
What, do you want to go back there?
No, I'm saying we accepted that nonsense, didn't we? And they got goals. Daniel Sturridge got goals. I'm saying if you replace Salah, you will not die.
Sturridge was a Lengman. Sturridge was a Lengman. I don't understand what you're talking about. Good. We had their Sturridge now.
Sturridge was a bad boy.
Sturridge was a
saying there's no disrespect, but towards the end of his time with Liverpool, he still got goals.
It was only he still used to slap in 35, 40 yarders against Chelsea, bro. He was a Leng man.
Towards the end of his career, this guy was washed. Stop it.
No, it wasn't. Not because of goals. It's because he couldn't stay fit. The guy was like,
look. Even when he was fit,
he's still playing ball now.
I know. Freddie Adu is still trying to play ball now.
Vinchi. If he could play,
you know who I'm desperate for at Liverpool?
Okay. Would you take Sturridge over Salah?
Well, what Sturridge?
Prime Sturridge.
No, I wouldn't. All day.
No,
I would.
I don't know.
I'm asking, saying.
What's Prime Sturridge actually done for us? Look at the picture. What has Prime Sturridge actually done for us compared to what Salah's done?
Prime
Salah. So you pick Salah.
Prime Salah is a madness, bro. You know, like Prime Salah, people, and I don't care, you can squint if you want, but only people like
you can squint if you want.
Prime Salah, yeah, is my boy Ronnie, like. You know, like a Prime Salah. Hey, don't disrespect Prime Salah.
He's shaking.
Salah, yeah. Seriously, there isn't. Nah, bro.
Oh, hang on.
He's
Salah
up
made
there with
Ronaldo
Kane.
look worried. Can you remember that Champions
Ronaldo,
League final when
that's
they're
what I'm
cheating in
telling
the
you.
tunnel? Like
He's-
Ronaldo was
he's
looking
Ronaldo.
up for him, man.
Bro, he's Ronaldo and them man there. Like that's who he's a prime Salah. You can't talk about Sturridge. He's not in that. That's not the bro. Nah,
Okay.
Yeah,
bro.
but injuries fucked Sturridge up, bro.
Okay.
Nah,
okay,
do you know who
guys,
I really want at Liverpool?
Go on, Ryan. Wrap
Um,
it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
I would sell both Salah and Mane together for Alan St. Maximin at Newcastle.
All right, bye guys. And then I want to see you later. Thanks for having me, bro. No, thank you, bro. It was absolutely thank you. Cheers.
Ryan, you're mad.
Listen.
I know, he
On
didn't
that
get on
note,
us.
listen. On
So
that note,
Maximin's a
listen.
Well,
baller,
when you
man.
said wrap it up, I didn't know he was going to wrap it up like that. Bro,
please,
he smashed it.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's
thank
blasphemy.
you so much. Thank you so much to everyone in the cut. Guys, we had about 15 people here for like a good nearly 2 hours. It went up and it went down. But listen, everyone, thank you for engaging with us. Listen, thanks to the panel, Vinchi, Ste, Sonny, Ryan, Saint.
It was going so well. It was going so well.
Household rules, guys. Obviously, you know how I do it. I help and support everyone on their channel. So please, guys, starting from Saint, we'll just work our way around. Saint, can you let the guys know what you've got coming up, where they can find you, and then where they can subscribe?
No worries. Guys, obviously, I do a Saint LFC catch-up show. I've had Sonny, I've had Ryan on. I'm going to have one next week. I've also got an absolute fire. I can hear myself. Oh, man,
Yeah.
I think you know, I can mute someone.
Sorry.
I've got an absolute fire preview with the boy Bitz and Bobs for our May the 1st duel with the Man United coming up. You can find me on YouTube, Ste LFC TV. Find me on Instagram, Ste LFC TV. Boom. Hey.
Big up. Make sure you subscribe, guys. And Ryan, aka Salah's lover.
Yeah, you can find me on Sarkson City normally on the Q&As and maybe some watch
Just hit
alongs on there. I don't do
2,500 subs too.
I know, still. Congrats,
Yeah.
man. Seriously,
big up
to you,
Boris,
lot.
man. It's his channel. He's proper worked hard at it, bro. Like, gotta give him.
Bro, he works
so much
harder than the
credit.
devil, that guy, man.
Yeah. Boris is
After some
working.
of these comments, I don't know if people will follow.
Ignore what he said. Let's just pretend that never happened. That whole thing that he said about Saint Max, whatever it was, man.
Don't diss
Oh,
St.
my
Maximin, innit? My guy St. Maximin.
You're dissing.
But,
I'm not dissing St. Maximin at all. I think he's
Okay,
all right, but
continue.
brother.
Continue.
Yeah, and you can find me on like some watch-alongs on there and stuff, but I don't do Liverpool ones normally because I get too stressed in it. So like, but yeah, you can find me on
To be
videos.
fair,
on
Ryan,
there.
if it was up to you, 3/4 of the squad would be sold in the summer.
3/4, is that all?
Well, listen.
Nah, I'm
Make
joking,
sure you go
I'm joking,
subscribe.
I'm joking.
Make sure you go and subscribe and check Ryan out. Brilliant guy. And we've got the little bro in the corner, LFC Sonny.
Yeah, the Liverpool Addiction on YouTube, LFC Sonny, Twitter, Instagram. Go do that up. And great show again, man. Great show again. Obviously, barring a few things that was said. Great show.
Yeah, man.
People that are watching, please make sure that you go subscribe to the little bro. Literally, content's unbelievable. And he's doing really well, to be honest, and I'm happy. And he's helped me out a lot, actually, to be fair. People, if you're new, please make sure you subscribe to myself and everyone else. Ste, please let the guys know what you've got coming up or where they can find you to subscribe.
So get me at Red Sky Pods. Looking to do collaborations with other channels at the moment, do a bit of crossover. It's not just Liverpool. We've had Man United fans on. We have special guests from time to time, ex-pros when we can get them. So it's tough for us at the moment. We're quite new, so we're really trying. So any support anyone can give us is really appreciated.
Big up. And what I will say is that I think everyone's agreed that if you do get a chance, please go and watch his pod. And if you do see him on a pod, go listen to him. Because I think he's detailed, he acknowledges the question, his delivery is exceptional. And to be honest, I love it when we all talk and Steve's quiet.
I know. And you notice that he just and then you ask him a question and he goes, "So I'll go back to the that."
Yes.
And then you're just like, "Yes, Steve, man, boy. I see you, bro."
He's like, I didn't let that go. I remember.
I remembered that one.
Trust me, he's a bad boy. I see you,
Hey,
Steve.
big
I
up
see you.
big up to Steve. And last but not least, my cousin Vinci Cordino.
Stop,
If you let
stop,
people
stop,
know,
stop telling people I'm your cousin because then they start to feel pity. Anyways, yes, I'm Bob's cousin.
it just runs off the tongue. I'm like, yeah, that's my
No,
cousin.
catch me, Vinci Cordino, Instagram. I don't know what I'm doing next. Kopping Mechanisms every Thursday. Bobs, are we doing a watch along? Watch alongs are fun with you.
Yeah. I think we'll need to. I think, actually, yeah, we'll do. We're gonna do a watch along for the Liverpool game, definitely.
Allow
Yeah.
watch-alongs for Liverpool games, man.
Yeah. Like, so yeah, definitely. To be honest, I actually need to speak to you a bit more stuff. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, make sure you can find him here on this channel. You can find him on Instagram. Yeah, listen, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, but like that was unbelievable today. Literally, like I
love
laughed.
that
It was
show,
alright.
man.
Breaking 2 hours.
Yeah, Sid, you're killing me. So I just want to go back to that point. That is so steep.
So
No,
so regal, so just there, like we're going mad. Man's there.
Assessing it all.
Trust me, taking it all in.
Oh, listen. I thank God for all you, like, literally, and I wish you all success. And like when me and Vinci came up with this idea, man, and we picked the people, I'm so happy that we've got these characters in because like Saint said, we're all football fans, we're all football men, we're all adults, man, and it's good to have an opinion. Whether you don't agree or you do agree,
Oh,
you know what I
man.
mean?
They're blasphemous.
When we don't agree with Ryan and Sasha.
Oh, Vinci, I hate you, bro.
Listen, good night to everyone. Peace and love to you all. See you later.
All right.
Yeah.